All right, good morning, friends. I'm going to try and do this as seamlessly as possible to explain to you how to open the lab. So you're going to go into the Drive folder. First thing you need is that virtual desktop. So you're going to open this file and you're going to click this link here in the file. And this opens this up. You're going to want to install the virtual desktop onto your computer, and that's going to allow you to save and print. So you would choose the appropriate option. Like if you have a Mac, you want to go to those downloads. I have a Windows, so I'm going to choose that first. And then download now over here on the right side. So it's going to save the file. I think this is my work computer. It's not going to let me open that executable file here, but you would save that. Pay attention to where you save it. You know, here it would be saving it into my Dropbox. But then you would go find that folder. So I'll go ahead and save it in this file here. And we will go and put it in this folder. It was this guy, the VM Horizon client. My computer's not going to let me install it, of course, because this is a work computer. It's protected. It's locked. I need a password. So you would go through installing it on your computer, and once you've installed it, you would find it and open it. And after you find it and open it, and you are in that virtual desktop, then from within the virtual desktop, not your own desktop, then you would go back to this Drive folder here. Once you've got the virtual desktop open and you open your Maple 2021, which looks like this, you want to open that in the virtual desktop. Then you can open that Maple file. All right, so I'm going to open it where I have it saved. No, that's not right. I'll just go straight to my folder where I know it is. One, this guy. All right, so when you open it, it looks like this. This first portion of your lab is kind of the examples that's talking you through how you're going to create these direction fields. So when you're making a worksheet, you know, it's oftentimes helpful, and you don't need to retype this colon versus semicolon, but it's oftentimes helpful to write restart. And then here I've loaded my package with differential equations tools. Now notice there's a colon at the end. If I edit that and I put a semicolon, this is now showing me all of the different packages it's loading. So what that did was it loaded this D field plot, which is going to allow me to plot my differential equation. All right. So personally, when I am typing and when I'm entering and making my worksheet, I prefer this older text. If you look up here where my arrow is, it says text, and then I like Maple input. So it comes in this like Courier font, and it's red. I prefer that. Maple is going to default to its newer 2D input. We would be dealing with in this equation y prime equals x plus y. Now remember, y is a function of x. That's what makes these differential equations difficult to deal with. So I'm going to put my derivative portion in here. Diff is my derivative command. So the derivative of this function, y of x, comma, with respect to x. So that's my differential equation notation. That's saying the derivative of the function y of x with respect to x. So I have equals x, and the function we're dealing with up here is x plus y, but I have x plus y. Remember, y is a function of x, so we've got to type that in there. We put this y here because that's my dependent variable. And then this is just giving me a range for my X's and a range for my Y's. So I'll hit enter there, and it has now plotted my slope field. Okay, and of course I could change this. I could say 10. I can make this guy go to like -5 and hit enter, and that changes the way my slope field looks. I would encourage you to play around with Maple. This is just saying the arrows are thin. I'm not even certain, but I'm pretty sure you could have thick here, and that changes the way the arrows are. That's just a personal preference. There are ways you can change the color and such. So we'll leave that as thin. All right. So the next thing I want to address with you guys as we go through, we're going to take this. I'll go ahead and make it look like what it originally looked like. I'll put the 2's back in there. All right. We're going to look at this ODE. I'm going to label this. I'm going to call this ODE 1. And so when I use this colon and then equal sign, that's my operator that's telling Maple, I am now saying every time I type ODE 1, I'm getting this differential equation. So I'll hit enter after that. It's going to pop up for you. And then I want to do my phase portrait of ODE 1. And my X values I've specified between -2 and 2. I'm going to draw the phase through this one initial condition, 0, 1. And so you can see that one curve here. And more than one curve can be traced at a time. Here you see multiple curves through different initial conditions. And then also you can control the height of this box as well. Notice I've added here at the end these values that say my Y's are now going from -4 to 4. And you can change this as you see fit. I could say -10 to 10. And I can change my X's, -10 to 10. And that's just going to change the scaling on my windows. I can add another point. I could say, well, what's happening at, bracket 1, 1, close bracket, put a comma in there. I don't think that extra space will matter, but I'm going to take it out. And so now I can see there's a 4th value in there. And you can play around with this all that you want. Sometimes it's helpful to look at values in all 4 of the different quadrants. So maybe if I typed like -1 and then 0. So we can see some of the different behaviors for these different phase curves. All right, so what you're going to do when you're done with this, you're going to want to create a new Maple worksheet, okay? And I've put here, if you want to explore some of these different options, I can come over here. I'm going to use this symbol up here at the top, this little sideways caret or pointy bracket and underscore. And of course, I like my text to be Maple input. I think it should be set that way. You can type $D field. Did I spell that right? Plot. You don't need the colon, and that's going to pull up the website for Maple. That's going to give you some differential equation tools help. You could do the same thing with phase portrait. All right, so what you would want to do is you want to create a new worksheet. And when you create that new worksheet, you might want to start with some text, and you list your name, Emily Stein, Lab1, MAT 285. All right, and then we'll say problem question 1. We're going to label it. All right, and so then now when I want to enter my information, I'm going to come over here and choose to type whatever command my preference is, okay? And so notice I have 2 tabs here. This is my new Maple worksheet. You're going to answer these 3 questions on your own using the tools up here and, maybe a little research. And then when you're done, you're going to want to save as, and there should be a way to, I don't even know, export. You should be able to export as a PDF. Now you'd like me to open that key right now, and I'm not going to. So you'll save it as a PDF and you will upload it to Blackboard. So I hope that helps explain a little bit better what my expectations are for you with this first lab. Please let me know if you have any questions. I linked some videos as well that go over basic Maple commands in the Blackboard announcement. And then there are also some documents in that Drive folder right here, basic Maple commands. This is a Pearson document talking about Maple commands. There's this document talking about the differential equations commands which you deal with in Calc 2, which I know if you guys had me for Calc 2, you didn't do any of that differential equation stuff with Maple, but this is what Pearson provides for the material that we've already looked at. And then here's this Maple cheat sheet that I found, so ending with a semicolon gives you your answer, but the colon suppresses. This assigns some sort of title to any sort of equation or variable, whereas just an equals is a little bit different. The percentage symbol will pull up the last result. So if you wanted to pull up something that you had typed, 3 times ago, you would use 3 percentage symbols. A couple things about Maple. Let's see. Maple is case sensitive. So if you want to use pi as a variable, you would type lowercase pi. But if you want pi, the number, the irrational number, you need a capital P. You type infinity. If you wanted to use the imaginary number I, that's a capital I in Maple. If you want to type an exponential Euler's number, you're going to type exp, and that would be to the power of 1. That gives you Euler's number. So exp identifies that value. And there's a lot of other information in here. As I said, the operations are important to type, especially the times, making sure you type that, a caret, if you need a square root, sqrt, if you need a log to some base, etc. So I encourage you to just kind of look through this and work with that a little bit on your own. So I hope that helps. I'm trying to keep this brief. So 13 minutes, we're all done. Yay. Y'all, good luck. Bye.